Hi, we're Jason and Kim, and along with Mishka, the Tonkinese, we're sailing ARGO. Thanks for joining us on this adventure of a lifetime as we explore the magnificent Queensland coastline, learning as we go and embracing every moment. This isn't just about the miles we cover, it's about the experiences, the lessons and the memories we create along the way. You only get one shot at this crazy life, so we're doing our best to make the most of it. With our last night living on dry land hitting us square in the face, we packed the car for one last time with the cat and all the final provisions for our full-time liveaboard journey. First stop was the big Sandhills at Moreton Island, about 16 nautical miles or 3.5 hours away, for some hull scrubbing before heading out into the deep blue. It kind of doesn't feel real, like we're just going on another small break, but I suppose that will sink in soon enough. We waved goodbye to our lovely neighbours and then headed across the bay in good winds with a skip in our step. We're really doing this. We are really doing this. First night with calm conditions, it gave me the chance to use the new green underwater light, and man, did it attract a stack of baitfish. And I managed to score a squid in the process. Very cool new toy that will come out again. And these are the sorts of afternoons we hope we get plenty more of. Just look at that. Spectacular. The Sandhills over there, we've been visited by turtles all morning, huge ones, sticking their heads up looking at us. Started off a bit bumpy this morning with the wind. It was forecast to be really calm this morning, but that has obviously kicked in a little later than they predicted. But now it's just beautiful. We've just finished cleaning the hulls using the new Airbuddy, which has made it so much easier. Still hard work, but a hell of a lot easier than just trying to use a pair of goggles and a snorkel. Magnificent. With the hulls clean and the wind a little friendlier, we took the opportunity to sail 23 nautical miles or 5 hours up to Bongaree at Bribie Island for a couple of days as we waited for the winds to be more favourable. This adventure is definitely a bit unreal right now, but we're soaking it all in.
Turns out 17 knots is quite fast compared with 5.5. It's off-putting and stuff I've just got to get my head around. But it looks so close and yet it's more than a mile away from us. But at this point, sitting here, feels like I could just swim right up to it.
In the midst of the calm, the rod started screaming and fish on was the call. It took nearly 10 minutes to reel him in.
Certainly doesn't help travelling at 5 or 6 knots. Woo.
And he was a great size, but mac tuna for us is not great eating, so back to the ocean he went. Great bit of action though, and it gives us hope there'll be more fishy action in the future. Next stop, 34 nautical miles, or about 7 hours, to Mooloolaba.
So we're just coming around to Caloundra. It's been a little breezy this morning, but not anything too horrific. Currently doing about 15 knots of true wind, and we're running at about 6 knots speed over ground. Slightly overcast, but a lot better than the rain that we had as we kicked off this morning. We woke up ready to go at 5 and had to wait out a quick squall before we took off, but that's okay because it moved on fairly quickly, and now we're just easing our way up towards Mooloolaba Bar.
Life jackets on before crossing the Mooloolaba Bar, with the cat once again completely cool about it all. We rounded Point Cartwright about 2 hours after the load. And the Coast Guard advised the newly dredged channel has a minimum depth of 2.5 metres, so we knew we'd be okay. It was our first time through this bar, and having watched some tragic boat capsizes in the past, we were a little nervous about it. But the new dredging, which apparently was only completed 3 days earlier, gives you a straight run through the lead lights versus having to do a loop closer to the shore where there are breaking waves. The swell was low at 0.7 of a metre, and with the breeze around 10 knots, we felt comfortable crossing, and it was all very business as usual getting through. After finding a place to anchor in the duck pond, we had one puckery evening with just 0.3 under the keel on a low tide, but it was flat as a tack, so it was all good. And it gave us a chance to catch up with a mate at a local restaurant on the wharf for a final goodbye and a few drinks and laughs. With pretty hectic winds of 20 to 25 knots and swells to 3 metres out there, we waited it out with some boat games, exercise during the rain, and after having low voltage problems with our house batteries, we were lucky enough to find a marine electrician who could not only help with diagnosing the problem, but was able to replace them while we were waiting for the weather. At about 60 kilograms per battery, I'm glad it was them lifting them in and out and not me. The new batteries are 330 amp hour AGMs, and we have 3 of them, so now we have a total of 990 amp hours. I would have loved to have gone lithium, but at a cost of at least $15,000, it was just not going to happen. Not exactly an anticipated expense, but when the battery monitor read 100% with the correct voltage, it is a load off my mind for a trip like we're about to do. And it gave us a chance to catch up with family and get some boat jobs out of the way, putting our small person aboard to good use. Oh, and we met another ARGO who is anchored right near us. Really nice people who know how to make great pizza. No doubt we'll see them again on this trip. We ended up staying 7 nights as we waited out the weather and for the new batteries. So I made a final dash for supplies and some more spare parts before we headed up to Double Island Point. The adventure has definitely begun.